Welcome back to the Saxon Barbell channel. My name's Cole, and today I'm going to go over the 3 reasons why your deadlift is shit off the floor. Quick question: are your lats really tight in a deadlift? If not, that's probably going to be a reason. Does a bar drift away from you at the start? Or does your pull just involve yanking the bar off the floor with no actual setup? We'll go over these 3 points and make sure your deadlift is perfect for you. So, the first mistake I see a lot of beginner lifters actually making is not engaging the lats enough. A lot of people won't understand what I mean by engaging your lats. Engaging your lats just means getting your back nice and tight. Your lats are the biggest muscle in your back, and they're what's going to help you contract your arm into your body and keep them there the whole time you're deadlifting. Having your lats fully engaged in a deadlift is going to be one of the key points. But how do we actually do this? The way you actually want to try and get your lats engaged is by trying to tuck your armpits down into your hips and then also trying to bend the bar around your shins when you start the pull. This is going to make you the most tense and tight and contracted you can be during this lift. But if you don't have that mind muscle connection through your lats or through your back, one way I would suggest doing this is warming up specific movements like the lat pullover, face pulls, and high rows. They are probably going to be some of the best ones that you can actually do to get that mimicked movement of pulling the bar nice and tight. Your lats not being engaged enough actually leads into problem number 2. Problem number 2 is the bar drifting away from your shins as you start the deadlift. If your lats aren't tight enough, the bar will drift away, pulling you out of a set position, which is the most optimal. When you're pulling the bar off the floor, you want the bar to move from point A to point B in the straightest line possible to have the most effectiveness. When it comes to the deadlift positioning, this is what's going to be probably one of the key issues in the bar drifting away. Your lats being really tight is number 1, your positioning is number 2. If you squat down into the set position for a deadlift, you are going to push that bar away with your shins, and your shoulders aren't going to be on top or just in front of the bar like they should be. And if you have a stiff-legged deadlift stance, so your hips are quite high, your shoulders are just going to be so far forward from your center line that the bar is just going to swing around wildly. How I always tell people to get into the best position for them is to try and find the bite point. This is going to be the point of the bar as you're sitting your hips down, creating tension, and just slowly bringing your chest up, sitting your hips down. The bar is going to start biting. It's going to start popping off the floor slightly. I always do this if with new people at a very lightweight so they can actually feel it. And I try and reiterate this throughout all of their lifts as they get heavier. One of the best ways you can actually find your bite point is pause deadlifts. Doing pause deadlifts is going to give you that little pause just off the floor. Don't initiate the pause with a pull, initiate it with a wedge. So as you're sitting your hips down, pulling your chest up slightly, bar pops off the floor, pause, go. That's where you know your bite point is. And then if you repeat and repeat and repeat, it becomes subconscious of how deep you need to be wedging in to be in the right position. The last problem a lot of people face is they yank the bar off the floor. They don't create a proper brace, a proper nice tight back, or anything to do with their position. They just try and grip and rip, which they see a lot of people do, which is a great method up until you start getting into the heavier weights and your muscles aren't properly ready for that actual movement. You will start to look a bit like a prawn or a shrimp when you're deadlifting. Grip and rip can be quite good if you have got the other 2 points that we've just talked about down to a T. Having that wedge and having that lat tightness, if you can use both of those and grip and rip, it is probably going to take a lot of the psychology of deadlifts out of it. A lot of lifters I have had or have seen do psych themselves out of a deadlift. They stand over the bar for a little bit too long. So the grip and rip technique could work, but only if you're strong enough to do it. So if you have the lat strength and the wedging positioning, it is going to be beneficial. If not, you are going to round your back. So tying in both of those last 2 points into this point is how you're going to fix this. Take your time under the bar, make sure you've got quality brace, making sure your lats are controlled and tight, and making sure your wedge positioning is perfect. If you don't have those 3 points, it is going to negatively affect your deadlift. And I'm not going to say it's going to negatively affect it in the way of injury, because no one really knows if that's going to happen. Depends on how you train outside of the deadlifts. If you do a shit ton of Jefferson curls at heavyweight, probably not going to be too bad. But I would always recommend for efficiency, which powerlifting is, it is the most effective way of moving a weight from point A to point B. So what I would recommend is finding that wedge, keeping your lats nice and tight, and leg pressing the floor away, making sure you're driving your hips all the way through at the end. If those 3 points resonated with you, perfect. If they didn't, there is a link below for my coaching. it is probably going to be one of the best programs you can run for yourself. If you don't start to see progress within 4 weeks, I will give you your money back guaranteed. But now we've figured out those 3 points of a deadlift, you've got one other choice to make. Are you going to pull sumo, conventional? If you're not sure, this video here will help you out massively.